Good afternoon, mature beauties. I'd just like to talk to you this evening because it's close to Christmas and it's such a wonderful time. I don't know, so many of us have been through so much that some of us don't enjoy it quite as much as the others. And I've been one of them myself. I made my hair darker, I guess you can tell. And yes, Peggy, I have on the lipstick that you've been requesting to see. Okay, that's her name. Lisa Robertson. Yeah, Lisa Robertson lipstick. This is what I'm wearing today. It's really beautiful. Stays on all day. And I found a neutral lip pencil to go with it. And it's really beautiful. And I made my hair a little bit darker because I got carried away covering my roots because the roots had grown out so long since I was last on. So I just made it a light brown. But anyway, I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to my wonderful friends. It's been wonderful. Sometimes you think, you know my history of panic attacks and agoraphobia and depression. Usually after I do a video, I go back and lay down or vacuum the house, and I do everything in the house and keep it clean. Then lay back down and watch television. That's my big idea of exercise. Or talk to my dog. Which is good, because if that dog ever talks back, I'm going to be rich. Then if I get rich, I'm going to take care of all my kids' problems and get face fillers. So for all this sinking in spot, do the hair do. All the other things. But a lot of us have panic attacks. I still have them. I force myself out of the house when my children are willing to take me. If one of them comes all the way here and says, "Mom, get up, we're going out," I'm like, "Oh," but I go with them because I have fun with them, and I start to forget about I'm scared when I'm with them. I have to go take my driver's renewal because my license expired 2 years ago. Not that I have a car or I drive, because I can't turn the darn neck that far anyway to drive, but you do need your driver's license for ID. But it expired 2 years ago because no one could find my birth certificate because I'm so ancient that it was obviously written on a cave wall somewhere. But the government couldn't find it. So they finally found it. It was in the Women's Hospital of Washington, D.C., which had been torn down over 55 years ago. And it's been a Trader Joe's. So the government lost me. So I hope they don't make me take my test again, because I don't remember anything. I just need it for proof. If there's an emergency, I might drive to the mailbox, which is 350 steps away, 350 steps back. It's my exercise for the day. But I still get panic attacks, and I just bite my tongue and go and shake a little. Still have agoraphobia. Don't like to leave the house because with agoraphobia, you're afraid that when you get out, you're going to have a panic attack in front of everybody. And that people are going to see you, when really people don't really notice anything about. They're worried about themselves and the family that's with them. Unless you walk into a brick wall, chances are no one's going to notice us, whether we're having a panic attack or not, just us. But then our heart races so bad, and we start sweating and dizzy and start falling over like we could possibly be loaded or something. We're having a panic attack. And then we get lonely. You know, I'm a widow and lost everything, but I was blessed. My son bought a home. It's not the biggest of homes, but it has a lot of land, which brought me out of my dilemma that I seem to have been in. My son has a picture that I'll try to put at the end of this video of me doing my usual right after my husband passed away, before the house was foreclosed on, of laying in bed. And all the children and grandchildren came to visit me. And like usual, I didn't get up to see them. They all climbed in bed with me. I must have weighed 120 pounds and was white as a sheet. And that's how I never went to the doctors. And still don't go to the doctors much, because I don't want to find out anything. Because every time I've been to the doctors, it's an ulcerative colitis attack. I have all the bone problems. Can't use my thumbs, can't turn my neck. Ulcerative colitis, I've been in serious condition for over almost 2 weeks. in St. Mary's Hospital. That's happened a couple times. That's something you don't want to play around with. It's another thing that makes you depressed is when you're ill. Because you worry that you're going to get ill in public or that you're going to get ill alone. So you do nothing but worry. And then you worry about your children. And your whole life is just worry. But I want to start telling myself one thing. What I'm worrying about. Like my daughter's health is very bad. As you know, she has relapsing polycarditis. And it's really messed up her whole life. If she gets better, instead of thinking nothing's helping her, if she gets better, everything will be better. It'll be wonderful. I mean, what if it's not what I'm worried about? What if it's vice versa? What if it's good? What if something that changes in our lives that we're going to worry about is the wrong thing? What if we tell ourselves, this might turn out good, even though it looks like a bad thing? What if we tell ourselves for 1 minute, a couple of times a day, while we're worrying about it, this might turn out good? Like, I was scared to death to do YouTube. Literally scared to death. As you can see sometimes now, I look like a deer caught in the headlights when it first comes on. But it's made me fix myself up more, even though I'm agoraphobic and don't go out. It's made me fix myself up more. I see myself on video and I'm like, this looks bad and this looks bad, and maybe I ought to do this different. And I don't know who I'm doing it different for. I know I'm doing it different for me. It makes me feel a tiny bit of pride in myself. And that's all that's important, is what we feel about ourselves. We're such a big influence to other people, and we don't know it. We think nobody cares about us. But if something happened to me, all my children would go insane. Same with you. If anything happened to you, your whole family would go crazy. I mean, just think how many people love us, and while we're worrying about what might happen to them or what might happen to us, if we have to go in the hospital again. Each thing that we're worrying about, let's tell ourselves, just for a minute, this might turn out wonderful. Like YouTube has turned out quite a bit better. It's cheered me up. I have friends now on YouTube. I didn't have friends walking around. My only friends, the dog and the cat. That poor cat that I showed a picture of in the thumbnail is over 20 years old, and he has seen me through the worst depression. He's the one that stayed cuddled up with me on my chest all the time. The sweetest cat in the whole world. He's old now. At the moment, he's in his back room laying down because the new dog tries to hassle him. But that cat has cut me through so much, crying when my husband got cancer and then a heart attack and then more cancer. And we started losing our house, and he couldn't drive, and just everything started going to pieces. And I cuddle up with that cat every night and talk to that cat. And to this day, that cat loves me to death. I mean, it's all his whole idea of spending a wonderful, I'm sorry, I keep looking at the window. A wonderful day is to be cuddled up on my chest. The dog tries to threaten him, and it's like, get off mommy's chest. I'm supposed to be up there with his whole 180 pounds. But that cat got me through so much, so we can talk to our animals. Who are they going to tell? If one of them does talk back, then we're rich. Most of our problems are over. Because the people who have panic attacks, agoraphobia, and depression generally have been through E, you know what? Oh, they've been through it. They've had nightmares of sickness, health, tragedies, and they're scared that it's going to happen again, because I am. I'm scared to death every time my ulcerative colitis flares up that the ambulance is going to come for me, especially when the fever starts. Then I'm afraid that since I'm 73, that it's all over with if I go in the hospital one more time. But then what if it did come back really, really bad, and they actually fixed it instead of me being scared to death of surgery again? Or what if they actually fixed it and I felt better? I have to think of things like that. I got to force myself to think of things like that. And that's what I want you to do if you see anybody that's kind of down and out for Christmas. We're all human beings. Just give them a smile. They might be depressed. They might be agoraphobic. They might be forcing themselves out of the house. to get Christmas shopping done for their family. You don't know what's going on in their mind. We're all humans. If we could, I wish we could just give each other a big hug. Like Candy Johnson used to say, hugs. She's young, but now you can't hug anybody. You can't touch a darn thing in 22. just to be safe. But God bless. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. I hope this was some help to somebody, because I have panic attacks, agoraphobia, depression. Spend 3/4 of my day laying on the top of the bed watching TV. The rest of the time cleaning the house, doing the laundry. I do keep the house clean and the dishes and everything done. And I do roll around. Well, I can't roll around with a dog, but I roll around with a cat. If you roll around with a dog, you'll die. He weighs 180 pounds. He walks up against you and bumps you. He thinks he's my guard dog. So, in my sidekick or whatever, every time he walks, he bumps me, which knocks me into a wall. And I'm old, so I could get hip replacement surgery from him. But I love you all. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas. God bless each and every one of you. Give each other a smile. We're all women out for the same thing. Women for women. Let's take care of each other.